We're 1 minute. We're 1 minute away. Boop, 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 boop. You never know what's going to happen around these parts. You never know. Hey, what's up? Okay, ready? We're live on TikTok. I like you better. I said it out loud. And we're on YouTube. And I have my pants on. I really shouldn't. Anyway. Hey, y'all. Hey. So, we're coming to the end of this, and then I'm going to have to continue another book. So I'm all of August, every morning, I'm going through this workbook that I wrote years ago about the sword of trauma. Yeah, the sword of trauma. As if, think about like if whatever trauma that you've been through, and we've all had something, even if it was your ex, it was traumatic, is like getting pierced with a sword. That was how my ex was. It was totally pierced with a sword. Anyway, so it could be, hey, hello from Tennessee. I go to Tennessee once a month. Come ride bikes with me in Nashville. So your trauma, whatever it is, can be like being pierced with a sword. And so I have this whole workbook series. It's used all over the world. It's my most popular thing, is this sword of trauma. And so I'm going through it every day in the mornings of August. And we're almost done. Look, we're at the end. And then the next month I'm gonna do something else because this has been really fun. Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, what kind of trauma? Seriously, so what kind of trauma? Well, it could be anything. It could be any kind of trauma, where it could have been, you witnessed trauma. That's early. That's step one. Looking at like, what was your trauma? Reading fashion magazines. What was your trauma? You crazy parents that you were raised by wolves. Whatever you went through that was traumatic is like getting pierced with a sword. If you look at it like that, it gives a great way to see an end point. It's not going to last forever. You can remove the sword and then heal the wound. Ow! And then you have it. So it's much like healing and moving on and like becoming moving from victim to survivor to warrior to reformer. That's what I'm all about. Hi, kitty cat. Hi. Did you see these cats? There are 11 cats here, Heather. And I was like, it's because you have 11 cats. I mean, I just answered all your problems for you. There, if you're wondering why you're single, ladies, count how many pussies you have in the house. I'm like, I understand men. I speak really well to men. Men understand me. I get you, fellas. Because I'd be like, listen, I'd be like, you have 11 of them. I'm going home. We're gonna do it outside in the hammock, and then I'm leaving. I mean, you feel me? Okay. So in this section of the workbook, here comes another. I mean, they're in and out. They're just like, Lord, I actually slept outside on a hammock last night because there's too many in this house. I was like, I ain't playing with that. If she wants to find someone, I can help Heather. I should be a dating coach. You say that all the time, Kitty. Just own it, that you are a dating coach, okay? This is where I will lecture your ass because I'm all about, like, you live your purpose. Like, your purpose is more important than your pain. And you're so good at helping people date, so just own it. Don't say you should. Like, we worked on it with Heather last night. We went to a wild woman festival, and we were talking about, what do you really want to do in your life? What are you passionate about? And she's like, well, I think I'm like an adventurer. I think I'm an adventurer, and I find things in nature. And she's like a treasure hunter. And I'm like, can you reframe that sentence? Not, I think I am. I was like, did your husband beat you or something? And it turns out, yes. so okay. So then she owns it more now. She literally, by the end of the day, she was like, I am a historical adventurer, treasure hunter. I'm like, hell yeah. So I want Kitty. You're a dating coach, right? Dang, not funny. Okay. Was it supposed to be funny? That's all right. Maybe some mosquito bites I didn't have mosquito bites. I talked to them. I'd say, don't bite me. Y'all can float around. Please don't bite me. No, woke up to this dang black bear that keeps coming around. Seriously? Um, that's funny. Could you? I thought about that because she said that there's bears in there, and I was like, well, here we go. I'm sleeping outside, and if a bear comes up and nudges me, well, that's what happened. So if you look at we're gonna stay on point. Yeah, here I'm like, listen, stay on point, Shelton. By the way, I was just on a call with a bunch of guys that are working on my site for me, and I was like, I'm so glad that y'all are all fellas because you can stay on point, and I'm gonna go all around the like a like go all around and come back to the point, all around and come back to the point, like you should, fellas. Go all the way around, come back to the point, go all around. But we ladies can have so much, but it's like our parts. There's so many things. Come back to the point. Come back to the point. You see what I'm saying? You're welcome. So when you have been through trauma, right? And you're pierced with a sword, you got to remove it, and then you heal the wound, and then you have it. And we've gone through all the steps in this workbook, and now we're on when you have it, and then you're into playtime, which is where my life is all about. You don't want him bite. Wait, what? I gotta move so I can see your comments. You don't want him biting you. That would be so. That would be so like terrifying. A bear biting you as you're hanging in a hammock. Surely they're not going to do that, unless like it's anyway. Ladies, I have yeah, exactly. Then they say I'm good. It's true. If just compare it to there's a lot of things you can do with this. Just like it's all connected. So when you're in the playtime phase, when you've removed the sword, healed the wound, go back and watch other videos if you like. I put all this stuff up for free on my website and my app so that I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart for people who can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to deal with all over the place. Listen, I ain't sorry. So the place that we're like, okay, I've dealt with the trauma, I've removed the sword, and then I'm going to have it. It's like, then it becomes playtime. Like, so, because many of us who've been through trauma, where's your playtime? Is it scheduled in? Do you actually schedule in play? Are you ever without your sword? Well, are we? Are we ever without our swords? There's a great book that I love, the Shambhala Path of the Warrior. And it talks about how a warrior is never at rest. So it's like you might be on vacation, right? But you're still a warrior. Still, if something happens, you're like, shabam. I climb buildings and stuff. That's why my social media is Angela Shelton 007, because I do crazy shit like that. I do. So, no matter what, even when we're having playtime with the kids, I'm still aware. I'm still going to call out pervs. Yeah, I do that. Then we get brainwashed to never play again. Exactly. Okay. So the playtime is so important. You're welcome. Thank you. Needed you. Yay. Well, see, first you say I'm not funny, and then you get in here and you just wait. It just gets. I bring the fun and the funny in the face of the fear. It's a lot of F words. And one of my best comments I ever heard from a dear friend who was a fan who became a friend said, "You know what? You put the F back in my life." As in fun, and also and it's like all the F word, like, so, and then she said, because life without the F word, without the F, is just a lie. I was like, that's brilliant. So we have a variety show that we will eventually do. That's where we're leading, is my comedy show that's not funny. It's called Pricked. And then a bigger show that I basically, think like Carol Burnett with healing. So it's life with all the F words, because life without the F is just a lie. Yeah. Glad you found a hey. Yeah, and those of you who found me that like me tend to like each other. I will one day have a dating app for that very reason. You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. It's a comedy, not funny comedy show. Yeah, it's funny. That's me. And then at this phase, we're going through this workbook. Hey, Rondi, let's stay. I'm staying focused. All around the point is a point. Going back to the point. Go all the way around. Come back to the point. Yeah, I am done. See, I can have a dating coach on my dating app. There you go. What can you say to yourself? It's in the workbook. I'm just reading it. Page 104. What can you say to yourself to remind yourself that you are worthy? You're worthy. I just went to this Wild Women's festival yesterday, and we were singing. There was this whole singing, chanting stuff. It was great. It was great that it was a woman's retreat because it was the kind of thing that men would be like, "What in the hell y'all doing?" You're like singing to your wombs and stuff. We don't need to see that. Yeah, you don't need to see it. It's a thing for. That's why women need to, right? It was so fun, and so there was this song. Hey, thank you, Stay. I got my hat on. Woohoo! I gotta move so I can see your hearts. I like seeing your hearts. Something like, hey, am I talking to myself over here? How y'all doing? So I'm telling you a point. They were singing this song that is like, I am worthy. I love myself and I love, I take care of myself, yada, yada. Me personally, I wrote this dang book, okay? And me personally, I am the one that will hold my hand and be like, this is some new age caca baloney. Like, I'm just not buying it. I'm just not buying this whole like, I love myself. I'm special. I'm worthy. I deserve love. It just, it doesn't I'm the speaker and it doesn't resonate with me. It resonates with me on body, mind, and spirit maintenance. And also when you are truly in love with source that you are a part of, like for me, it's I love God, then you do love yourself because you are part of that. So like when I personally say like I love myself, I feel separated. But when I say I love God and I'm here as a vehicle through which it comes, through which the infinite comes, that's my commitment. Is like that's the kind of stuff I do. Is I like before I go on stage and stuff, I say, let me be a vehicle through which you come, and I am of service. So put some words in my mouth, whatever I need to see, hear, share. That's when I personally hit like I'm worthy. Is of course I'm worthy because I am a vehicle through spirit, a vehicle for spirit to come through. Does that make sense? So like I understand for those of you who are like, what? I'm I'm worthy. I love myself. But people do need to say that and feel that, and however that can you can get there. And I'm talking to the people, if you're like me and you're like, oh god, the big eye roll. Usually men are, I can really talk to more men than women on this level because the men are not going to sit here and work this workbook. Usually they're like, what? Whereas the women will be like, I did 14 pages and then I printed it and I needed more space and I wrote and I drew pictures. And I'm more like, that's why I have so many male friends and I get accused of being a guy so many times. That's also why people think I'm gay so much time because I think like a dude. Um, Usually, I mean, it's like think like a dude. I don't mean to put labels on, but I want like the faster, I want the straight, give it to me straight. And for me, it's I love God. So I'm sharing that for those of you it needs to resonate with. But if that doesn't resonate with you, then say, what can you say to yourself that you are uh that you love yourself? You're gorgeous, self-sharing goddess. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am. When she says hello, in odd situation, continue the conversation. Don't let it go flat. Well, hello, Wyatt. Dating suggestions. You ask questions and listen to them. I have a dating book. It's called Will Date for Food. Yeah, there's a course too, online dating course for women. Will Date for Food. It's a trick. Like everything I do is a little bit of a trick. Like it's not like my boxing movie's not really a boxing movie. My golf comedy will make you cry. My documentary about women in America ends up being about my dad and me, and like it's like a little switch. And my dating book and my dating course is teaching women how to listen to men, because when you're eating, you shut up and you listen. Just shut up, chew, put it in your mouth, put the food in your mouth, and listen to the men. Just listen, and you'll find like amazing things. You got a hot meal. It's like it's a good way. Anyway, that's my side note for the dating. Now listen, you're worthy to be loved and you're worthy to carry a sword instead of being wounded by it. Because that's the whole point. Because you can walk around. This is why this analogy works so well. Hey, I got some food. That was awesome. That was awesome. Stay sent me breakfast. Listen, back to the sword of trauma. Yeah. So you can you can be wounded by this. Hey, speaking of dating, right? You can go into every date carrying all the wounds from your past date. You know, you show up and you're like, I'm already angry and already projecting all my stuff for my dad or my mama or my uncle that diddled me or my past relationship with that narcissist or whatever. You come to the table with this. That's a perfect example of trauma, right? So you're like, oh God, hi, I'm just here with all my stuff, all my baggage and my wounds. How are you? What you got? It would be amazing if we could date like that. We come like a card. That's what I've started doing, by the way. Here's my things. Here's my issues. Here it is. I've worked on it and I'm always at work in progress, but this is it, my little card. This is my dancing card. I have issue with this, this, and this. What's yours? Can we dance together? Or have you dealt with that? Because if you've ideally worked on yourself and you're not projecting all your stuff on somebody else, poor things. Oh God, poor things. You have removed it, dealt with the, healed the wound. What? Great bra. Thank you. Um, and then you have it, and then we're in play. When you're in the play phase, then you get trauma bonds. Exactly. But when you're in the play phase and you've dealt with your healing and you're actually whole human and you're like, yeah, I've been through every trauma known to man. Like, Jesus, Lord, most of us have a list of things we've been through, not just one, right? I love it when people hear some of your stories and my stories as well. And they're like, oh my God, that happened to you? And we're like, well, that was just Tuesday. I mean, I didn't even tell you what happened the other day, and then yesterday, and then when I was a little kid, and then in my 20s, and I just recommended you to my stepdaughter because she's going through a lot. Oh, Tammy Shelton, thank you. I am working on my own stuff. Hello, funny, of organizing all my stuff in more cohesive ways. Kind of like Brene Brown has hubs. So I'm organizing it. That just bear with me. And I just decided to, as I grow and do more and like go back to the stage and go back to my not back to go to the comedy that I've always wanted to do, which is where I've been heading. It all leads to one prick, y'all. It all leads to one prick. It's called prick. But when you've done your healing work, granted we're all a work in progress, and you're in the play phase, this becomes a different kind of magnet. I'm telling you, because usually when you're wounded, right, you're going to be magnetizing, you're going to be pulling more abuse, trauma bonds. You mentioned that. You're going to be pulling repeated trauma. Like, did you marry your dad again? I thought we dealt with that. Or like, did you marry your mama? Are you in a relationship with your wife? Like, again? Wow, you just repeated this trauma. Because it's like drawing it to you. It's wild. So I'm telling you, when you've done the healing work, whatever phase you're on, and you actually have it in the play phase, this is it magnetizes the fun towards you, the greater things, the elevating. That's why I say like we're elevating and expanding together. And also why in my world, there's no judgment and there's no competition and there's no like he did this or you did this or you wrote a book, I can't write a book now. Like, no. You're on your island, with your sword. However, you might be on your island like this. Help! How'd you get out of this? Like looking at, you might be way ahead of other people. Like there's people that are way ahead of me and I watch them. I'm like, hey, how'd you get around that? And me, I'm way ahead of many people. So I leave aha moments and breadcrumbs and you can throw, fireworks displays up to help escape routes, help each other with escape routes. And when you're in the play phase, it does it magnetizes people that are playful and more fun. It really does. It's just amazing. And then just Not drop the convo, be honest, but be in the moment because that's what he wants. I love men. I have horse blinders that I use to focus on what is healthier for me. Wow. Yeah, mine is meat, milk, and men. As long hold on, I'm gonna take some milk. Raw milk, grass-fed meat, and men. I'm good. How to keep Angela Shelton alive. Meat, milk, and men. We're fine. We're gonna be fine. Anyway, when you're in the healing, that when you're in the play phase, we're staying on the workbook. How can you use your sword as a warrior instead of a victim? Hey, Taboo, thank you. I love your energy too. Why are you there? That moment. Tell him why you're there and smile. Men love your smile. Tell him why I'm there. Listen, are we going to bed or not? Like, are you messing around with me? What's happening? How can you use your, as a warrior instead of a victim? Perfect example. Yesterday, we are at this